What's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Spill the Tequila here on the soon-to-be John Rocha channel, starting Monday morning. Thank you so much for hanging out with us here today. Winston A. Marshall joins me. How are you, Winston A. King of Swag?
I am feeling a little under the weather. It is what it is. I got told that somebody in my cast, the Shakespeare I'm doing, has COVID, so I have tested today. It came out negative, but I still feel like ass, so we're just going to power through here and do the show, and then, I have to take a look at my life, look at my choices.
Dost thou have COVID? Dost thou have COVID?
I verily pray thee. Go the fuck to sleep.
A pox on you. A pox on you, man. Hilarious stuff. Well, I'm sad to hear, man. Hopefully, well, you test is negative, so hopefully that stays that way. But you never know with this stuff, right? With the state, sometimes,
especially like the first day, sometimes is not going to tell you shit, and then you find out like day 2. So like, I will test again tomorrow just to make sure, because the last thing I want is, our cast is already exposed. I don't need to continue to expose people.
Oh, right, exactly. No, you want everybody getting double COVID. That's not good. But we appreciate you, Winston, you coming on and powering through today. We're going to get through the show. Try to keep it under 90 minutes. We got so much to discuss here. Some Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool news. We got some stuff going on with Denzel Washington, talking about highest to lowest, and also chiming in on the Cowboys situation. We've got some old Will Smith news that's fun to talk about, and Winston's going to take me through this Omar Gooding Cameron situation that I have no idea what's going on, and it's just like I've been reading a bunch for the last 20 minutes, so we got a lot to get into on the show. And of course, Streamlabs and Superchats are open. You want to send in your support through questions, thoughts, and comments. Feel free to do that. That's pinned in the chats right up there in the description, or in the on the screen there, and it's in the description of the show as well. But thank you so much for hanging out with us today. And Winston, let's just kick it off, man, because we don't have a lot of time on the show today. Let's do it right off the bat. Let's get into this story here. What is happening with this post here on Instagram from Ryan Reynolds? Is the Merc with the Mouth finally joining the Avengers? Ryan Reynolds shared this on his Instagram. He didn't include any kind of caption because that's the kind of guy he is, to get people's tongues wagging. And certainly we're covering it here on the show. But the photo, you can see that it is almost the symbol there of anarchy over the Avengers. And so what does that mean? And Reynolds has been posting, the posting of the Avengers comment is filming is going underway right now for Avengers Doomsday. Speculation that he could be preparing to announce his involvement in the movie is running rampant now. And a lot of people are excited about this, but he did say that he never wanted Deadpool to necessarily join the Avengers or join the big teams that are there in Marvel, because why give him what he wants, his wish fulfillment? He shouldn't have that. So what do you think about this? Is this him teasing that he's going to be a part of the Avengers Doomsday movie or Avengers Secret Wars, or is this just a little fun that he's having with everybody?
I honestly could go any way. I think it's smart for the Marvel to let this happen, just in the sense that even though Fantastic Four has done well, it hasn't done the gangbusters they were maybe hoping for.
Yes,
100%. I think this just gives you just more positive PR to do that, and especially from a character that everybody genuinely loves. I think on top of that, we needed to kind of wait for the lively Baldoni stuff to die off before you try and get Ryan involved, just especially from the standpoint of like his movie was caught up in the lawsuit about the idea that Nice Pool is supposed to be a spoof on Baldoni, which if that's the case, I'm gonna be honest with you, that's genuinely hilarious. I don't look at that and go, wow, that's so mean. I go, yo, you got roasted, bro. You got roasted hard. Just like nothing that was said in there was, I would have had zero idea until it was brought up in the lawsuit. And I think that's the case for 100%. Most people. So that's almost one of those things where you like ratted on yourself. You know what I'm saying? So like, all that being said, I genuinely think that this was just if it is true, I think it's just good timing to get people re-amped up about what's going on. Because you had that in Spider-Man. Like you've had the little featurette already from day one, and that looked really good too. So you're just putting out good press for your stuff. I
think that's what this is all about. And you touched on it in the first part of your comments. Marvel is taking it on the chin on Fantastic Four. I don't care how they spin it. I don't care that, well, we're going to sell toys and we're going to sell this or that. Now it's going to offset the box office. That's totally fine. And sure, the financial picture of Marvel is, you have to, factor in everything to get the result of what a film like that's released brought into your coffers. But I get that. But looking at it as the film and its box office, it is a disappointment. And Marvel, I think, is a little bit scared about how people are receiving their movies. 3 movies in a row now that have either underperformed or flopped. And you get a conversation now of like, well, even when we do a good movie like Fantastic Four, people still don't come out. What do we do here? So I think there is an effort there behind the scenes going to all their people going like, can we get some positive energy back around the Marvel brand? Because we all benefit from positive energy around the Marvel brand. So yes, as you said, the Spider-Man Brand New Day featurette, all kinds of news dropping. Sadie Sink's first day is apparently on set today or tomorrow. So you got that news dropping. You've got the practical effects being used here with the swinging and the web crawling, all of that to get people excited for Spider-Man Brand New Day. And oh, by the way, here's Ryan Reynolds dropping a little cryptic post there to get tongues wagging and get people excited, because the last film that did well in the Marvel universe was Deadpool and Wolverine to the tune of over $1 billion. So why not add his cachet? And this also shows, I think, the kind of power Ryan Reynolds has in Marvel right now, that he is just, they used his personal account to put that logo on there. Deadpool is owned by Marvel, by the MCU now with the sale. They don't have to go through Ryan Reynolds' social media. But the fact that they did go through Ryan Reynolds' social media tells me the kind of power that Ryan Reynolds is wielding around Marvel still, because of the success of Deadpool and Wolverine. And so they want that success to kind of rub off on the future Marvel films that are coming. And Ryan has said he only wants, if he comes back, it's going to be in someone else's movie. If you want actors on actors with Andrew Garfield. So yeah.
I mean, I will push back a baby bit on the idea that Fantastic Four spells trouble. I think what really needs to happen is people need to take a step back and really reevaluate what box offices are now. There's like, if you look at the ones that crossed $1 billion, they were full-blown event situations. They were typically tied to well-known or already successful IP, and on top of that, they all were legacy stuff with rare exception. Yeah. So Oppenheimer, I counted as $1 billion. It was close enough. That's its own thing, but that's Christopher Nolan's kind of crazy. It was supposed to be like his magnum opus, so yeah, checks out. Barbie, massive IP, obviously on its own. We've never seen a Barbie movie. The marketing on that was A1, better than I've seen in a lot of other places, and how that went. And you were able to pull that off before the strike, but you really tapped into an audience that wasn't like, the funny thing is seeing the market share for both sports and for media with women, and how a lot of times they are not catered to the way that they should be. And the minute you did, you busted out $1 billion movie. Most of the other ones that hit $1 billion, kids movies. So you're talking Lilo and Stitch. You're talking
Inside Out 2.
Inside Out 2, Super Mario Brothers. You're gonna almost always win with kids movies. Hell, like even How to Train Your Dragon, which is almost a shot-for-shot remake of the animated one. Yeah, Gangbusters, just by the nature of being a kids movie like that, like a family movie. So I think we really need to take a hard look at it and stop immediately jumping to this as a failure. Now, mind you, if they're putting out $500 million budgets and then pulling $500 million, then you really need to take a look, because that means you did lose money. But in this case, if I remember correctly, the budget here was like
200 million.
Was about 2, and you're sitting at about $500 million. And we know that a large amount of the marketing was actually able to be written off because they did a lot of collabs and a lot of product placement stuff and whatnot. It's not going to immediately fix everything, but I think the fact that people still showed up and it's about to cross the $500 million marker. I don't think that or Superman is nearly as bad as people like to make it out to be, just because we do not live in the print $1 billion checks anymore. That's not a thing that exists, barring a few exceptions. Because I would even say, I look at the other exceptions are Avatar, but that is one of the most rabid fan bases I've ever seen. So that's a different thing. You can't count Spider-Man, because we really hadn't been, for the most part, back in theaters. That was a 20+ year culmination of everything of Toby, Andrew, and Tom, and all their villains, and all of that. So that was in its own kind of stratosphere. And then Top Gun, once again, you went and reached back to a 30-year sequel, and it was a good movie, so you needed to do that as well. But you really tapped into something special of every son wanted to go see that with their dad, or vice versa. Like, and everybody saw it, but like you specifically hit that nail on the head as far as that goes. So I'm not surprised. Like, Brave New World makes sense because I don't think it was very good. Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four First Steps, I'm a little surprised because they're good, but not so much as long as the lesson is learned. We don't live in the same world. Marvel's in trouble if we get to these Avengers movies and they're not pushing $1 billion. That's a problem, especially knowing what the price tag is to make these movies.
Right. Box office wise. Yeah. But I mean, but I think that's why I think you can look at the pattern that's emerging here and start to be worried about the Avengers films and start to be worried about Spider-Man Brand New Day. And I think that's why Marvel is doing these kinds of things to get people excited again about their successful characters, Spider-Man, Avengers, Deadpool. These are things that they're doing. It feels like a concerted effort to get people excited again about the Marvel brand.
Right.
Because you might look, I take your point. Certainly the idea of box office and what is an actual success is, I saw an article today, is 800 million the new billion. Is that how we should be quantifying things now going forward post-COVID? Certainly fair commentaries to make in the analysis of it all. And we never really get the full numbers from the studios, the actual numbers. We never, unless you're shooting your film in London or England, rather, where you're supposed to tell them what the actual stuff is so they can check it. But it doesn't happen in America. So you get what you think the numbers are, and then you look at the marketing and all that kind of stuff. But so you look at it, but it is fine, but it is not what I think they wanted it to do. And I think that's where the issues of a little bit of concern come in. When you're looking at the future of Marvel right now.
Rocha, I to that point, I mean, look, I every day would hope that I wake up and I run into Florence Pugh and she's like, yo, you cute, you and your girl, come with me. Like, but if that doesn't happen and I just have a good day, you know what I'm saying? I make some money, I have a good meal, like, you know, me and my girl, like, watch something funny. I still consider that a success. I think the main reason I keep saying that you really have to look at what actually hit $1 billion and what didn't in the last couple of years. There are key elements to it that you can't.
You're going to $1 billion. I'm not going to $1 billion. I think 700 to 800 was what they wanted Fantastic Four to do. I thoroughly believe that, and I think the billion. I never thought they were going to get $1 billion, but certainly 700-800 is what I think they wanted to do.
And that's fair. I would also throw out there that this is a problem by studio's own doing. Because they again have 100%. Retrained audiences. You've given them like kind of a Pavlovian response to, I just have to wait 45 days and it'll be on streaming. That was a choice that studios made. And so why are you surprised that your box offices went down across the board? Yeah. Like there is no especially if you like for example, like I heard Megan 2 was trash, but I bet it would have had a slightly longer life if it wasn't immediately rushed out. People would just be like, I'm bored, I'll go see it, whatever. But if a movie is bad or mid or whatever, and you're telling me it'll show up on Peacock or Paramount Plus or HBO Max within 45 days, why am I rushing to the theater? That adds up. If you're not an A-list person or you don't have an AMC to do something like that with, then you pick and choose your battles. And so it doesn't make logical sense for them to do that, but then they also have to deal with the consequences of their actions.
But you want people to be excited for your film so that they don't wait for it for 45 days, like you saw with Jurassic World Rebirth. You know, whatever your feelings are about the quality of that film, and I don't think it's great quality, but like for whatever reason, people gravitated to it and saw it to the tune that's over $800 million now. That film. And so, and I hear you about the installments, I hear you about the kid stuff, but I also think that there is an appeal factor here that you have to factor into the whole situation, because that's what gets people off their asses to go to the movie, is like the feeling like, well, everyone else is seeing it, I gotta see it so I can be part of the conversation. But that didn't happen with Fantastic Four.
No, I understand.
I think they wanted it to.
I understand. It doesn't help that I don't think anybody thought that Weapons would do that strongly out the gate. I think that cutting into your weekend 3 like that is not fantastic, no pun intended. But I think we also need to take into consideration specifically why, say, for example, that Mission Impossible, Jurassic World actually did well. Jurassic World Rebirth, I will give it props for being the fourth highest domestic gross, but it was beat out by Superman to first of all. So like anybody that wants to poo-poo on Superman, like there's that. Then Lilo and Stitch and Minecraft movie, and immediately below it, Sinners.
You mean domestic?
Domestically. I'm talking specifically domestically. Okay. Then Sinners immediately under, and then How to Train Your Dragon, and then Fantastic Four. So like the main thing, the reason why Jurassic World Rebirth is at 800 is because they did almost half a billion dollars internationally. Yeah. So that is, which I understand. I totally understand, but we also know that China's pretty pissed off with us in the first place. So they've decided they're going to stop prioritizing American movies, and that's why Ning Za has blown everything out of the water as far as actual box office goes with Ning Za 2. But that is similar to the Fast movies. There is something very specific about Jurassic World that around the world people freak out and go, dinosaurs, oh, even if it is dog shit, which it's not good. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's the only thing is it is equally as important to look at what the domestic pull is and what you're doing for American audiences, and then make an adjustment to see how you're faring internationally at this point, because that has shifted. That genuinely is not what it used to be. And that's kind of important to keep in mind as far as what we're going to do going forward, you know?
Yeah. And I hear you. I don't see it. People make the delineation between domestic and international. I don't see that delineation. It's a global box office. And so if you want to split hairs and go, well, we did great domestically and we did not do great internationally, that is an issue. What is it about internationally that's not appealing about your movie that you're not getting across to the way that the Jurassic World did or whatever? I'm like, because this Fantastic Four is, yes, they're American superheroes, but they're really, the whole film is about them taking care of the entire planet, irrelevant of countries. They're based out of what their version of America is, you imagine, in that Earth 828. But it ain't necessarily an American connected hero like Superman. I don't believe it, but I hear the argument about Superman and the international stuff and how this current administration and whether people want. I still think people love America and they love things about America, and they don't go, oh, Superman is Trump. I don't think they make that correlation to the numbers that people think they make that correlation to, but there's no way to quantify that one way or the other. But I hear the logic. I don't necessarily agree with it. So, yeah.
I mean, the only reason I would push back just a little bit, though, is just from the standpoint of universally here in the States, it has been deemed that Sinners is a classic, that it did gangbusters. It did 87 million overseas.
Right. It did.
And that has to do with a number of things that we've seen in the past, of the fact that Black folk, especially in places like China, because of racism, don't even they're not interested. They're like the fact that you did Star Wars and you took Finn off the poster because you were like, well, we know they're not going to rock with Black folks, so we're just going to take him off here. So I'm saying there is something to be said.
Oh, totally.
That I think specifically we just need to be able to understand that the market has changed domestically, it's changed internationally, and that means your worldwide box office is not going to be what it was in the past. This is the longer it's funny. It seems weird that bringing politics didn't have anything to do with it. It's not even necessarily that, I see Trump in Superman, but the idea of China's pissed off me, like, you stop putting tariffs on us, asshole. And they're like, fine, we're just not gonna go see your movie. We love things out. We'll see it again. Like, there's no reason not to just do something like that. So
right.
That's all.
Well, and there's also with Sinners, that gets into the complexity of, do Africans care about Black Americans' experience in America? Do Haitians care? Like, it becomes that kind of, do British Black people care about American Black culture? Like, there's that kind of thing. So it becomes even more, when you look at it, becomes even more delineated when you look at it in context. But I hear you on the Sinners argument for sure, because I think that film is extraordinary, regardless of whether it did well internationally and did better domestically. It's irrelevant to me. The film itself, quality-wise, is a great film. So,
literally, the two best performing countries outside of the U.S. was the UK at 3.2 million, and France. Oh no, sorry, that's the opening. The gross in UK 21 million.
Yeah.
France 8 million, 3.2 in Germany, 1.4 in Italy, 2.9 in Netherlands, 1.9 in Saudi Arabia, 2.7 in Spain. But it just didn't do well in a lot of other places. Like, it kind of tanked in Hong Kong, India, South Korea, Vietnam. But again, that you then have to take a look and see how people are perceiving the content, the stars. Like,
couldn't they turn that around and go like, look at how many Asian movies that get released here don't do well? Is there racism towards Asian movies by American audiences? You can also make that claim. Yes, there's the occasional one that comes over and blows up, but there are a lot of Asian films that get released in theaters that nobody goes to see and don't make money. And you go, well, is there a racism factor there as well? So you wonder about that. Is it about racism? Is it about taste? Is it about an appeal? So there's so much.
I would argue a little of everything, because part of the answer I would say there is I don't see a lot of marketing for Asian Chinese movies here, like with rare exception. Like Parasite blew up because of the it was a darling, and then everybody went to see it. It was like, oh my god, this is incredible, and then it won Oscars. If they're not being marketed, that's one thing, and we know for a fact that they are not properly marketing a lot of black movies in China because of how people feel about it. So that's the only thing that I would say is like there's at least some evidence that they're not even necessarily trying over there because they know people are not going to respond to it. I think here it would, because I think back in the day, the number of like Jackie Chan, Jet Li movies that would come here and do fantastically well, it doesn't need to all be martial arts shit. That's not what I'm implying, but I am saying there was a push of certain things or certain stars out here that would help kind of elevate that. And so then part of it is like, if you're not marketing it, then how are you going to do? So we'll see.
We'll see. So, but we started out talking about Deadpool rather, and Ryan Reynolds. And I think he will show up. I mean, I can't imagine he wouldn't show up, but you're probably right. And to kind of like quiet the Justin Baldoni stuff a little bit, because that case goes up in March. Like we're actually around the corner from that case happening, just 6-7 months away. So are they going to settle that thing before it goes out there? And maybe this is part of the move, that there's talks going on about settling this thing, and then Ryan can start doing his promotion or whatever, because I'm sure he wants to bring Deadpool back. Maybe not in a full movie, but certainly as a recurring character. And I do think they need that sarcastic energy, because no one else has it. And if Tony Stark is going to be Doom, he's not going to be the snarky kind of comedic element that you need. And bringing in someone like Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool can fill that void a little bit. Not quite the same, but can fill it a little bit.
I'll tell you this right now. If he does, I'm going to be furious. It better not be. It better not. If specifically, if Robert Downey Jr. comes in, I should have clarified, because he is very general. If he comes in and starts cracking jokes as Dune, I'm genuinely going to be pissed. Like the only time that should happen is if he's trying to pass off for Tony Stark temporarily.
Oh yeah, right.
Fine. But that better not be the core of the character, because that's just not who Doom is.
I know.
It's just genuinely not. Like, if anything, Doom at times is funny because he really is the straight man. He is so mad about everything, and that I'm the one that can fix shit. He can't be cracking jokes. He needs to be funny because he said something stupid, or something very egotistical, and something like that. Not because he's trying to be snarky. That would be crappy.
For sure. I agree with that 100%. You don't want a snarky Doom. All right, well, let's move on to another story. What else did I have on the list here, Winston? What are you feeling right now? What do you want to talk about next, man? We had a few things roll through there.
Yeah, we did have a lot to get on. I mean, we can talk about the football stuff, because there's a lot of football stuff.
Okay, all right. Well, let me hit one more entertainment thing, and then we'll swing into the football stuff. How about this? Did you guys hear this about Will Smith and about Alan Tudyk, who sadly his Resident Alien series was canceled recently, which I was sad about because I liked that show. But he was talking about iRobot. If you guys remember iRobot from a few years ago, he said that he was on Tuned In with Jim Cummings, who is the voice of Winnie the Pooh. Tudyk said that they were doing test audiences with the movie, and they score the characters. And I got word back that, Alan, you're testing higher than Will Smith. And he said this a couple weeks ago. And then I was gone. There was no publicity, and my name was not mentioned. I was so shocked. I was like, but wait, nobody's going to know that I play the robot. And he does play Sonny in the film. And apparently this was the way this went down. So what do you think about this? Is this a Will Smith throwing his weight around type of thing? Or is this the studio going, listen, we don't need Will Smith to be eclipsed here. Alan Tudyk is not selling this movie. It should be Will Smith selling this movie. What do you think about this?
I think the thing that makes me sad is the longer we go along, I've been in this industry. I've just heard a lot of different things about Will. It really can be
Yeah.
Jackal or Hyde, one way or the other, where he can be the kindest, nicest person possible, but then he can also be grade A movie star ass. Like I've literally heard both. And if you go and look at a lot of the movie choices he made, he was Mr. Box Office. I'll give him credit.
Oh, sure.
But the number of movies he passed up because he was like, oh, that's not the main character. I'm good on that.
Yeah.
Like was supposed to be in the Matrix. Nah, bro, I'm good on that. I don't need to do all that. Was and what ended up doing Wild Wild West instead, I believe.
Yeah.
You know, was supposed to be in God, what was the other one? Django. But he felt that Django wasn't about Django. It was about
Christoph
Waltz's character. No, Christoph Waltz's character. Dr. Schultz.
In the Matrix, right?
Same thing. He thought it was about Morpheus, not Neo. He thought that was about Dr. Schultz. So he passed on both of those, and look at those mega hits that those were.
Yeah.
And the, you know, the award acclaim and stuff like that. There have been a lot of stuff that has come out over the years that like he can kind of be that dude. So in the same way The Rock can't lose a fight and Vin Diesel can't lose a fight, it's kind of the same thing. So I'm not surprised by this, especially because even though Alan Tudyk is a fantastic character actor, he's one of my favorite actors ever.
Yes. You're
dealing with an A-list name.
Yeah.
And if he decides he doesn't want you on the thing, then you don't get on the thing.
That's it. That's it. If you're in the way, you got to get moved out of the way. 100%. I thought it was a commentary, but it's an eye-opening commentary because you know sometimes we think movie stars are just movie stars, and it's like they're just these sweet people and they really care about and the thing is, it's a ruthless business. It's a cutthroat business, and people do what they need to do in order to be the focus of campaigns because they want to establish themselves. And you can say on the other side, no black actor had done what Will Smith had done before he started doing that in the 90s, becoming this massive box office draw for action adventure type of movies and becoming a July 4th staple until that was on. We'd seen Eddie do it. We'd seen Sidney Poitier do it to a degree, but not to the level that Will was doing. It was like worldwide box office type of thing where he created a name for himself in that way. And so I think there's a kind of selfishness in that approach. And iRobot was at the time when Will was starting to like slide out of his prime. So maybe there was a little bit of ego there as well that he needed to make sure he was still the focus to see if he could get another hit. So
no, I mean, because it was that was about 04. So you had already done let's see. Bad Boys in 95, Independence Day 96, Men in Black 97, Enemy of the State 98, Wild Wild West 99, Legend of Bagger Vance 2000. Got your Oscar nomination in Ali in 2001. Did Men in Black 2, which was fine. Didn't do super great, but then Bad Boys 2 did great. You were had a cameo in Jersey Girl in 04, but your main thing were Shark Tale and iRobot.
Yeah.
So you were just, I would say you didn't even fully hit a downswing yet because 05 was Hitch, which blew up.
Yeah.
You had Pursuit of Happiness in 06, another Oscar nomination. You had I Am Legend in 07. And then even Hancock did well in 08, and you had 7 pounds as well. I feel like the beginning of the downfall was like the Karate Kid, Men in Black 3, especially you hit After Earth. That was a wrap.
Oh, that was,
you hit After Earth. It was just,
I think it started to become much more mixed results with Wild Wild West, and then you saw, like you said, occasional spikes, but then it really was After Earth with where he just kind of went into the other area until he came back with King Richard. And then of course we saw what happened at the Oscar ceremony, which he was on All the Smoke explaining that again, got emotional again about it, which I got to be honest with you. I don't know how much of that shit I buy anymore from Will. And I don't know how much of that is real and how much of it isn't. I get it. Having to explain to a nephew why you slapped a man on arguably the greatest night of your life. But how much of that is true? How much of that is using for sympathy? I don't know, man. But it is. I understood it. I defended it on that night. Someone talking shit about your woman. I get it. But then again, to keep talking about it, keep getting emotional about it. It's like we can't seem to move on from it.
No, I can see it going both ways. I could easily see this as something he's using to kind of gain sympathy. But I can also honestly see it as that's probably one of his most embarrassing moments in his entire life. We're just calling a spade a spade. That's supposed to be the greatest moment of your life that night.
Yep.
And instead, it will become the thing you may potentially, when it's all said and done, just because people are petty, that may be the thing that you get remembered for, which would be insane considering all of the content and laughs and tears and all that Will has given us over the years. I would get emotional constantly too if my biggest F up was at the biggest moment of my life.
I know. And you can never change it. You can never take it back. It is forever lore. And that's what you're known for. And yeah, because it's just a moment of a reaction that you think you are in the right to do in defense of your wife, but it becomes something completely different as it morphs years later. So yeah. All right, well, let's move on from Will. Let's get into as Winston was teasing. Let's get into some NFL talk, but let's keep it a little bit of entertainment too. Denzel Washington, of all people, was on First Take with Spike, and they were talking about highest to lowest coming out this weekend. Even though there's been no press for it, hardly anything out there for it, Winston, but it comes out this weekend, and he was talking about the situation with the Cowboys because Denzel is a big Cowboys fan.
Yes,
he kind of raked him over the coals, Jerry Jones over the coals on it, and they even used a tagline from the film that not all money is good money to kind of go after Jerry Jones on this because of the Micah Parsons thing. So your thoughts on this and your feelings on this as a Cowboys fan yourself, my friend. And a Denzel fan, I imagine.
I'm a massive Denzel fan. And a lot of that just kind of checks out. Like that's Denzel. That is literally what Cowboy fans have been screaming at the top of our lungs.
Yeah.
Is just pay the man. What are you doing? And Stephen A brought up in that segment, I watched the whole thing. He was just like, one of the things that's kind of ridiculous. They have had to restructure Dak's contract like 6 or 7 times. Over the course of the last like 5-ish years, which means Jerry is actually really bad at contracts, not only because he's having to pay more because he is out here in the streets waiting till the 11th hour. So the price, yesterday's price ain't today's price, and that shit keeps going up. The minute Justin Jefferson got paid, now it's going to cost more to pay CD. The minute, Burrow got paid, now it's going to cost more to pay Dak. Like that's just how that works. Right. So the fact that that's the case, and you're going to have to pay Micah this money, and then you're going to be in cap hell trying to pay the rest of the team. That is nobody's fault but Jerry, and it doesn't help. You didn't pull the clip I sent you of Jerry making comment, did he?
I don't have. I have the clip, but I don't know if I can play it because it's on First Take. I don't know if
that's fine. I'll just summarize. More or less, Jerry said in an interview, he was just like, Will. Let's see, if we're not in the news, if we're not at the forefront, then I'm really good at making sure that we're at the front of everybody's mind. I love the drama.
Yeah.
Are you ready to sell your house?
Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
Get to the clip, but go ahead. Keep
no,
going.
you just essentially was like, I appreciate the drama and I know how to stir it up. So I do. That's the problem. Instead of focusing on making winning a priority, you are literally about the soap opera that is the Dallas Cowboys. That is why we are here. Yeah. It is not because you haven't had insane, because like if you actually go and look at some of the teams that have been put together, you had one team a couple years ago that had like 9 all-pros. Yes. There is no reason that team should have been able to shellac people. That is one of the highest number of all-pros in a single team we have ever seen. And it's because Jerry makes a circus, they can't actually focus on their job.
Yeah, this is what he said. He said,
if we're not being looked at, then I'll do my part to get us looked at. The Cowboys are a soap opera, 365 days. When it gets slow, I'll stir it up.
Please take your seats.
And so it's wonderful to have the great athletes, have the great players, but there's something more there. There's sizzle, there's emotion, and if you will, there's controversy. That controversy is good stuff in terms of keeping and having people's attention.
That is insane to me, Winston.
That's
insane.
That's literally insane because to that point, Patriots, I want to say, are like the 4th or 5th most valuable sports franchise like in the world, right? Cowboys are number 1 by a large margin. And then somewhere in that mix is like Man U, the Commanders, the Patriots, the Yankees, in some order, I don't know, but the Cowboys are always a couple billion ahead of everybody else. I'll tell you right now, kind of like what Chappelle said in one of his stand-ups where he was like, yo, man, like 50 million and 100 million don't feel that different. I promise you, a $10 billion valuation and a 7.5 billion valuation do not feel that different. And the Patriots did it by actually standing for something and being a good team.
Yes.
They cheat sometimes, but a good team versus the Cowboys, like he said, soap opera's everything. I'm going to make sure if I got to stir the pot, I'm going to stir the pot.
It's Crazy.
You're not a chef, motherfucker. You're a goddamn football team owner. Do your job.
Well, I think this is something that is a commentary going on right now in our world across so many different forums or walks of life or venues, man. The idea that these billionaires, these rich dudes at the top of the pyramid, look at people's lives as toys for them to play with. And the fact that he is willing to cause controversy and drama and not care how it affects his team, because he is focused on making money with his team and being the talk of the town 365 days of the year. He wants people talking about the Cowboys, and he is willing to cause drama in other people's lives. The employees, and essentially a team, the players are his employees because he owns the team. He is willing to fuck with their lives and their financial well-beings and their futures in order to generate buzz to stay popular. We're seeing this in a number of venues with billionaires who are wanting to fuck with people's lives in order to keep their names on the tip of the tongue of a lot of people in news organizations and coverage. And I think this is a real indictment of where we're at as a world, because it's happening in all kinds of countries where these rich men are purposely fucking with people's lives so that you're constantly talking about them, because that drives up the value of what they own, because people love to watch a train crash or a car wreck. And so they'll go and watch all this stuff. And there are some people who support these billionaires because they like playing the villain. And so you have all of that coursing throughout this dialogue around the Micah Parsons thing that is just, to me, disgusting when you look at it. Just the way he's so casual about it all, as if these people aren't even human beings to him, I think is a damn shame.
I mean, you had the leaked audio of Jamie Foxx hanging with him, and he's out here talking about he's got a nice specimen on him.
Yeah.
You have that nonsense.
Woo.
You have the fact that like he wanted to invoke Des Bryant's name, and Des was like, I got like, that's where the stupid Nicki Minaj beef started, and that was all on Nicki. But the idea of, yo, he was playing with my name because he knew if he could rub my name in the mud, he could pay me less. He specifically did that to like mess with me instead of letting the truth get out there. I wasn't there. I can't speak to it. But to be honest with you, seeing enough evidence of what Jerry does outside of Des, I very much believe him. Like I very much am like, that sounds about right. He screwed over with Emmett. He screwed around with Irving. He has literally done this for decades, and it's only gotten worse.
Yeah.
It has only gotten worse over the years. So I just, it is incredibly frustrating to see something that you truly enjoy be controlled by somebody that really needs to go sit down and be quiet. Like truthfully, there's like what Jerry doesn't understand is that nobody is coming to these games for Jerry. They are coming to these games for the team, for the players. And I think that just rubs him the wrong way. And if you look the evidence that that's something he wants, how many people are always throwing questions in Jerry's face because of this? How many times like, getting on radio shows and dropping all sorts of just offensive crap on like radio DJs just because they're asking questions of quote unquote the GM. Like the fact that he wants to go act and like, was on not Entourage, but Ballers. And like, that's how the Cowboys rolled up. Like he really wants to be that guy. Right. And the problem with somebody that is that insecure and constantly wants to be that guy, you sacrifice the things that are more important in doing that.
Yeah. Someone said in the chat, the billionaires want to be the stars now. Like in the past, they were okay sitting back, owning the team, and reaping the success of the team. Now they want to be the guys up front who are getting interviewed and getting the attention. They like it in some nerdy way. I just saw Naked Gun today. I went to see it for the first time today. Good film, enjoyed it. Not a great film, but a fun film. But there is a little bit of a commentary there about these people in charge of the world. And when they get on the motorcycles and look like morons because they think they're cool because they have money, they look like total dorks. And so that's the truth, Jerry Jones is a dork. Dan Snyder is a dork. Trump is a dork. These guys are all dorks.
But it's not just them. Bezos
is
Elon,
Elon,
Zuckerberg, every single one of these dudes that hit $1 billion are literally some of the biggest dorks you've ever seen. Like, because there's a really great video done by, I've talked about this on my channel before, by Adam Conover. He's the guy that was like in Adam Ruins Everything. He used to be part of College Humor. He has his own channel. He does something like, are society is caving because of billionaires' fragile male egos.
Yes.
And it talks about how Zuckerberg feeling, emasculated in one way or the other, started doing MMA, and then like started making threats at Elon. Hey, you want to get in the ring, man? Like, we'll throw down in the octagon, bro. And then like paid all this money to be with, I don't remember what fighter, to be a part of the crew to walk out with him. Everybody else is kind of walking around normally how they do. He's trying to look all tough and shit. And people are like, bro, you look corny as shit. Like, stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it. Like,
that's what you see. It is mind blowing. I mean, like, I almost want to go back to the days when the dorks got bullied by the jocks, because at least the jocks weren't that smart. The fact that you've got the dorks who have now become the people who are the arbiters of our society are in control, and find out that their proclivities are just as depraved as the jocks' proclivities in stereotypical ways. It's just like, well, shit. It sucks that you're depraved, you're a dork, and you're in control. There's almost no avenue to overthrow that kind of stuff. And you see it happening daily with some of the moves these people make that cost thousands to hundreds of thousands of people's lives to be disrupted by their every whim. And it is a frustrating situation to see all around with all this.
Bro, I love how the opening Euphoria doesn't just apply to Drake. It applies to all these billionaires too. When superpowers get neutralized, I can watch only in silence. That famous actor or billionaire once knew was looking paranoid and now spiraling. You're moving like a degenerate. Every antic is feeling distasteful. I calculate you're not as calculated. I can predict your every angle. Literally, we know exactly what Jerry is doing. Yeah. And we have said this, and now he finally said the quiet part out loud, and it only becomes more infuriating. Right. This is because the same thing could be said about Elon, putting out all those polls of like, hey, if enough people voted, should I step down as CEO? Resounding like 90% poll, yes.
Yes, yeah.
Well,
exactly.
We're not going to do that. I'm going to be here, so kiss my ass. Yeah. Because they're little boys who nobody paid attention to when they were growing up. And there's a hole in their heart that they were able to fill by being very good at screwing people out of their money.
Yeah.
And then ultimately, when their ego gets checked again, they lash out.
Yes.
And they lash out at people that don't deserve it, because it's literally your doing that we're here.
It's nerd rage. It's all nerd rage from these dorks. Really, look, all of them, all of them. So, someone said in the chat, you better not call Aaron Donald a dork. Why? Aaron Donald is not in charge of stuff, right? I mean, Aaron Donald's not a tech billionaire. What are you mad? Sometimes I think somebody hits you in the head with a brick before you come on here, man. I understand some of your comments. Anyway, yeah, it's you see that kind of stuff, and it's completely frustrating.
Yo, damn it. Fabricate stories on a family front because you heard Mr. Morale, a pathetic master manipulator. I can smell the tails on you now. You're not a billionaire artist. You're a scam artist with hopes of being accepted. Tommy Hilfiger stood out, but FUBU would never been in your collection. That last part, maybe not, because none of them are black, but you're not a GM. You're not a good CEO. You're a scam artist with hopes that people will accept you. That is literally what every single thing that they do. It's just infuriating. I got to let it go.
I know it is infuriating, because we do feel at times powerless to stop this stuff from happening. As a football fan, you have no choice. Like, just like I felt with being a Commanders fan all those years and having Dan Snyder just do the dumbest shit. Another dork, as I said, do the dumbest shit. You're like, man, do you have a human bone in your body at all? And it becomes like there's nobody to call these people to task. There's nobody to stop them doing what they're doing. There's no system of checks and balances to restrain these people from their business practices, because, as you said, he's done this to so many players. It's just standard business for him, and he loses out most of the time in the negotiations. He has the money, but for him, money is so whatever that he is willing to take a chance to pay the person less if the market doesn't match what the person is asking for. But every single time he seems lately to get burned by it all and have to pay more to the people than he would have initially if he had just signed those contracts. So yeah, it's a maddening thing, but he likes the drama.
It does. Yeah. Unfortunately, all of them do. And that's why we all suffer.
Yep. Because they're messy.
They're messy, bro.
Messy. Clean up your shit.
No, you a massive manipulator and a habitual liar too. Don't tell no lie about me, and I won't tell truths about you. It's just like, oh God.
I love it. I love it.
I almost want to say to Jerry Jones, I think when you stand next to Sexy Red, you think you stand next to two bad bitches. Like I feel like that's exactly what he thinks, bro.
That's great. Well, we got 250 of you all joining us live right now. Thanks so much for hanging out with us as we talk about the things we want to talk about on Spill the Tequila. We appreciate it. I've seen some Streamlabs come through. Only 2 super chats have come through here. Send in your love, ladies and gentlemen. Send in your thoughts and questions and comments on all the things we're talking about, or if you got a new subject you want to hear from us talking about on the show, send it in through the Streamlabs or Super Chats address there. And Winston, where can they find the stuff you're working on, my man?
You can find me at the Swaggy Blurred on all platforms, YouTube, Twitch, social media. I'm gonna have my relay out of the theater reaction. I recorded it yesterday, but I just didn't have time to put it up. Went to the AMC Screen Unseen, so I'll put my thoughts on that out pretty soon. You'll also see me over on Capes and Cows on Friday, and then here every Tuesday, as long as we are good to go.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, let's move on to this story, Winston. I need you to help me through this. What is going on here between Cameron and Omar Gooding, who Cameron recently called Omar Gooding Jr. as a shot to his brother. So apparently there's drama here. Apparently he booked him on a movie on purpose to mess with him and never put the movie. Like, what is the origin of this beef and this feud, man? What is
so that? It was essentially Cameron was talking shit about Omar Gooding and called him Omar Gooding Jr. Omar Gooding got upset about because obviously Cuba Gooding Jr., his brother, like that's the junior and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So Omar Gooding started putting out a bunch of diss tracks against Cameron. But the thing is, it's like, even though they apparently were like halfway decent, he's never really been a rapper. The only rap that he really did was on Smart Guy for like a couple episodes when they were like putting like either a rap group or an R&B duo together. Right. It's just not necessarily his forte, right? So Cameron's got beef after hearing these whole things, and he goes, "No, I'm gonna get him," because he essentially called him like a washed out like Disney actor, whatever, right?
Nickelodeon actor, yeah.
So he hires him to be on a movie. He has other producers do it, and he's watching from behind the scenes. And you had Omar Gooding like signing the paperwork, flying down to Miami, being flown out to Miami, getting paid for it for a movie that, just from the look of it, didn't necessarily look like it was going to be very good, but he like did his role or whatever. And then Cameron was out here making fun of him and all sorts of stuff, being like, "Yeah, that was me, Nick. I was behind the scenes. I was just making fun. Look at him. He got his titties out, got his man titties in his gut out, just blah, 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 trying to do some push-ups," like going on and on and on about him. So then Omar eventually responds back and he goes, "Not only do I got way more diss tracks for your ass, because I know you're not going to get in the studio, but on top of that, okay, so I got a free trip to Miami and got $2,500 for a shitty movie that'll never come out and I got to worry about. Okay, book me again, nigga. What up? Book me again, baby. What else you got? I would love to do another nothing movie. That would be great. Look, if my hater wants to pay me $2,500 and give me a free trip to Miami, I'm kind of down to let him do it because he thinks he's getting me with it. Instead, I'm just like, cool, thanks for the free trip and the free money. I don't like.
It's such an unusual video because Cameron starts out giving Omar Gooding credit for those diss tracks. Like he said, those are actually good. I get it. So he's almost encouraging this battle between them. And Omar Gooding, I mean, like his response is fascinating to me. And him saying like, "You know what, pay me to go do it. I'll absolutely do it again." And he says like, "Thank you, man. Thank you. I really appreciate it." It's a fascinating way to try to diffuse a feud, is to be like, "Thank you for this. Thank you for all this. Thank you for all the stuff you're doing." And then he says, "I'm not done with you, and we're going to see what's up next." And people are watching for what's up next. So I have not listened to any of these diss tracks. I have no idea what this is all about.
I haven't listened to them either. I've heard that they're actually not bad, but it's just really funny to me that he thinks winning. I mean, I would say if you got Jerry Jones money, I know that Cameron like has made a good living over between his podcast and between like his rap career and everything else like that. But I venture he's probably worth somewhere around like, call it 50 mil, something like that. That's just a stab in the dark. You're gonna waste 20, like even if you have 50 mil, you're gonna literally waste $2,500 to pay him, the money to fly him down there, which I'm sure was first class for the movie in the first place, and then to fund a fake movie. Like you don't have 50 Cent money, you don't have Jerry Jones money. That seems, I respect the petty, but that just seems like irresponsible petty. There's other ways to do that. You could have got him to do a cameo for like $20 and then made him say something embarrassing as shit. Like that to me would have been like It would have made more sense. Again, you got Jerry Jones effort money.
Yeah.
By all means, do what you want. Then set up an entire Disneyland for his ass just to embarrass him. But I don't know. That to me just seemed a little. That seems like a waste of money. I don't know.
I don't disagree with you, man. Apparently, the beef started months back when Cameron criticized actors like Omar on his show. It Is What It Is, saying dudes were sitting around hoping for 50 Cent to bless them with roles instead of making their own moves. He even called him Omar Gooding Jr., which we alluded to, which clearly hit a nerve, man. So this is fascinating because, like, I looked at Omar's resume. Omar works. It ain't like Omar is sitting around desperate for a job. Like, he was in 5 movies last year. Right. He's done a bunch of TV shows, and he consistently works since he was at Nickelodeon. So he's not a guy who's like necessarily.
Well, he was at Nickelodeon and at Disney because remember he was on Smart Guy and that was on ABC. So like he was doing all of that. And yes, he's got 121 projects. IMDb reports as an actor, and he has 23 coming. So like
mind blowing to me.
So he works.
Yeah. So it seems like an odd thing to go in on an actor who consistently works and isn't sitting around waiting for 50 Cent to give him a role. And what has he been on that 50 Cent would have produced? I don't see anything.
Power.
Oh, Power. Okay, fair point.
Because there have been a bunch of Power spinoffs as well. So like there's the original Power and then 4 Power books. So book 1, 2, 3, and 4. So yeah, that's 5 different shows you could put him on. But
I've seen the White Guy spinoff clips on TikTok. Dude.
There's a White Guy Power spinoff.
Yeah.
You mean the white character in Power and his spinoff?
Yeah.
I thought you meant white people had made a Power spinoff. I said, bro, what?
White Power. White Power.
No, not White Power. God damn. That actually is kind of a hilarious. That might be a really funny TikTok sketch. It'd be like, guys, we want a corner. There's an untapped market right now. Power did really well with black people. We think that we have the ultimate answer to Power, and we can get a demographic that hasn't been touched. Great. What's it called? White Power. Whoa. No. Hear me out. So here's the thing. It's just like Power. And we also have a character named Ghost. See, he even wears a ghost mask. And that's what it's like. Whoa, bro. Hold on. Do you not see this?
Coming next week. Fox Nation's first scripted series, White Power.
White Power. Brought to you by Jerry Jones.
EP. Oh man, that'd be perfect. Holy God. All right. Anything more to say on it? Because I know we wanted to talk about that and have some fun with that beef. Anything you want to say?
It was just really funny to me to see that. I also love that at one point Omar Gooding was just like, yeah, I got titties, man. I'm a man of my 50s. You think I give a damn? I got children and yes, dad by a fool. Who am I trying to impress? I don't care. And on top of that, you pay me to do some push-ups. I appreciate that. Thanks for helping me get healthy. Like,
all right. Well, listen, that was all the topics that we had. So should we just get into the question?
Odell Beckham. We had Odell Beckham still.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Let's talk about OBJ, Odell Beckham Jr. There were rumors earlier today that he was retiring from the NFL completely. There was some nice
Adam
comments
Schefter
and all this kind of stuff. Of all people, Adam Schefter did it on his Twitter, and there was all kinds of calls.
Oh, bro.
What's the truth?
Yeah. Holy crap.
It
is definitely a parody account.
Oh.
I'm seeing it. It's Adam Scheffler. And it said it very small, but like they did the thing where like the L is like a 1 and all that kind of stuff. So people didn't notice.
Yes.
But yeah, so people were like going at Adam Schefter because they thought he did this.
That is Schefter, right? Exactly.
Yeah, but I'm dying at Odell's response. Like he What did he say? He said on the first one, he goes, LOL, WTF? When was that announced and by who? That's funny. Appreciate the concerns, but this ain't over yet.
Yeah.
And then he put another one out later saying, no, seriously, please stop reading everything on the internet and stop texting me happy retirement before you piss me off. That will get no response. I promise you, the day I'm done, I'll let you know. Again, if you text me happy retirement, I'm just going to have to block you. Thanks.
I know. Because that's the thing. This was a parody account. So people took it and ran with it, though, clearly, and were reaching out to OBJ to the point where he felt the need to comment on it twice on social media because so many people aren't noticing that it was a parody account. So that is funny. So I feel bad for OBJ to a degree, but that's some funny ass shit for sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Let's see. We have the new maths. You want to play that real quick? Want me to play that real quick?
Yeah, we can. Also, real quick though, I forgot the other thing that Denzel said about Jerry. He goes, "There's box office, and then there's Oscars." Jerry, it's been a while, huh? You ain't been to the show, so you wouldn't know what it is to win.
That's what he said to him.
Yeah. I remember him saying that. I genuinely just forgot that he said that, but yes, that was another. It wasn't just not all money ain't good money, Jerry. It was he also hit him with the "you ain't been to the show, so you wouldn't know what it is to win." That's crazy.
He's just picking the fight now. This will be a fun thing when it actually goes down. All right, let's play this real quick. Winston sent me this, and I want us to bring more social media stuff onto the show to have fun, like our favorite clips from TikTok or favorite moments from Twitter or whatever. But this was put out here. What's the account? So I want to give credit here. Gustavo at Senior Man Kells posted this video. It is clearly a TikTok video, but here we go.
You have 18 times 50. You could just halve the 18 and double the 50.
Did it blank it out?
An easier multiplication.
Is it not here? Can you not hear it?
I can hear it. I just can't see it. Did you block it on purpose?
Oh no.
There we go.
I see. If I go full screen, it blocks it. Okay. So I'll just play this.
Okay.
If you have 18 times 50,
so let's start.
Did you know that if you have 18 times 50, you could just halve the 18 and double the 50? Now you'll have an easier multiplication, 9 times 100, which gives the same answer. It's 900.
So simple, and yet somehow I didn't think of it.
Magic tricks. It's not only useful for mental math, but it can give us a deeper understanding of how multiplication works. The idea is that whenever we have a multiplication, we can halve one of the numbers and double the other, and we'll get exactly the same answer. But sometimes by doing this, we find ourselves with a much easier multiplication. Now, let's say we've got 14 times 50. That might be one that would normally have you reaching for the calculator, but let's try our technique. We're going to halve the 14 and double the 50, so we'll end up with 7 times 100 instead. It gives the same answer, but it's a calculation.
Their faces, they'd be like, bro.
Which means so is 14 times 50. We can apply the technique more than once. So we've got 25 times 16. If we double the 25 and halve the 16, we'll get 50 times 8. That's okay, but I think we can do that. If we double the 50 and halve the 8, we'll get 100 times 4. Much better. But we don't have to stop there. We could double and halve again to give 200 times 2. One more for luck. Double and halve again. 400 times 1. No one can argue with that. And the answer to all of these multiplications is 400.
When did maths get an update?
You know what taught this method? I just like the technique.
It's
calm, it's something I can definitely take home to show my kids.
I still don't like it, and I'm never gonna like it. I do my own calculations in my head. You know, I
do my own calculations.
This one, I don't need to.
My man said you don't have to calculate money. That's
right. I do my own calculations in my head. I do not need this.
That is crazy.
I literally, like, the funny thing is somewhere deep down I knew that, and I've done that in the past.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things that with it just spelled out like that, I've just been thinking about in recent years.
Yeah.
Why the hell didn't I just do that, bro? Like, why the hell did I? Like, I'll move decimal points around all the time to try and make math easier and stuff like that. Like, I get that, but why didn't I think to do something as simple as that? It's so easy. It's so easy.
It's mind-blowing. And they should be. How did I teach this in the classrooms for years? I don't know, because people have always had trouble with math or in math class. So, yeah, there you go. A little lesson for you all. Yeah,
which BT dubs, I just wanted to go and check and see. Yeah. So, according to the 2024 rankings, this is Wikipedia, and they were using Forbes as their as their source. Dallas Cowboys valuation at 10.1 billion.
Yeah.
Golden State Warriors are number 2 at 8.8.
Yes.
Los Angeles Rams are number 3 at 7.6.
That's crazy.
New York Yankees are number 4 at 7.55. New York Knicks are number 5 at 7.5. Patriots are number 6 at 7.4. New York Giants are number 7 at 7.3. Lakers are 8 at 7.1. Jets are 9 at 6.9, which is crazy. The Niners are 10 at 6.8. Raiders are 11 at 6.7. The Eagles are 12th, tied with Real Madrid at 6.6. And then so that's your first soccer team or football team. And the next one is Manchester United at 6.55. So, like, again, maybe it's because you just want to say I'm the best, but literally everybody clowns you. I would much rather be the Rams, who just won a title, the Patriots, who just won like 6 titles, the Giants, who won 2 in the 10s. The Niners, who at least have been to multiple Super Bowls, and the Eagles, who have won 2 in the last like 7 to 8 years.
Yeah.
I would much rather be that much lower on the list and have some chips than to be like, hey, man, we're worth $10 billion. We're worth every other sports team.
Yeah.
Kiss my ass.
There you go. Well said, Winston. Well said. All right. Well, let's get into the questions, brother, because we got to get in and out of here in the next 30 minutes. Michael McKenzie says, "Hey guys, here to help your nut." Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it.
Do you get the reference?
Yeah,
wait,
the South Park reference. Right?
Okay. I wasn't sure if you saw it. That's why.
I'm supposed to get my nut.
I gotta get my nut. Okay.
Okay. Man, that was a good episode, but I was also sad and laughing at the same time.
Because the puppy stuff.
Oh no, all the ice stuff. Like there's going to be people who join because they're in desperate financial straits and they're going to do things that are horrific because they have to pay bills or support a family member.
Oh,
and it's heartbreaking.
I guarantee you, the line she used in the show, they definitely have used it. If it's brown, it goes down. Like I guarantee you. Dude. They have used that. And the fact that and that's where South Park to me has always been so top notch as far as straight eviscerating somebody, bro. The fact that they went to heaven to try and bounce brown folk is crazy. That is crazy, man.
Yeah, South Park is like the Eminem of comedy, man.
It really is.
Jim wants says, while post-pandemic habits have while post-pandemic habits have impacted all movies, Dune, Minecraft, Wicked are still hitting 800 million. So I think there is some brand damage to Marvel. Yeah?
I don't disagree, but I still stand by. Think about everything that you just mentioned. So Dune, that became a whole event movie because we haven't seen a Dune in however many years. So this is a remaking plus Denis Villeneuve. And the first one did not do well because unfortunately it happened in the middle of the pandemic. So it just did not make money. The second one did, but that's just because people had built stuff up. So fine. Minecraft, I already said, kids movies did that, that family stuff. That's automatic pass. And then Wicked, yes, did a huge thing. But again, you tapped into that audience I was talking about women, mainly women that were super into that. And you put out one of a big IP that they're into, and it did gangbusters. Now they all had to be good movies,
right?
But that's the whole thing. Versus, yes, I do think the brand damage has been done, but don't sit here and tell me. You only listed the successes. Start listing other movies that had big names tied to them or big budgets and things like that. They were expecting it and bombed. Indiana Jones is a great one. You put way too much money into that and you made nothing. That's just another example of just genuinely the markets have changed and people don't know how to handle it properly from the studio side of things.
Yeah, good point. Chief Executive Officer John Pepea says, one rule in life, do you follow each day or try to? Yes.
Do you try to live? Follow each day or try to? I don't know if I get that last part.
I think he's just trying to say, do you follow each day with the next, I think.
Oh, I see. Yep. Okay.
Dennis Hoffman says, a Fantastic Four is great, but the 60% drops every week shows audiences don't want to get out. If it gets 550 million, I'd be shocked. Feels like a failure. Yeah, if it crosses 500, I'll be shocked, to be honest, at this point, because of the drops. And people are exhausted. Weapons is something new. Freakier Friday is something new, but even those numbers aren't like the numbers of Fantastic Four opening weekend. It's just that those are alternate things that people can go see and they're new. I think people are exhausted from the summer. They want a little bit of a break. And so here's something new like Weapons and Freakier Friday. But I think Fantastic Four is cooked pretty much now.
It's probably almost done. I mean, truthfully, I do think they'll hit 500. Maybe I agree. 550 at this point would be a little bit of a shock, but yeah, I think it's pretty much done. I think the other part of it is you're spot on that people got to remember, money is not doing well for folks right now. People are holding on to their coins. So 100%. Again, if it's not something that I absolutely must see, or I pay all this debt, literally every black mama, when you were like, mama, can I go see Fantastic Four? Is that going to come out on Disney Plus? Yeah. Well, how much money I pay for that damn Disney Plus? You try to go to the damn movies. You better wait your ass 45 days. I ain't playing that shit. I guarantee you the number of families that have decided it will eventually come to streaming. I'm good. Unless it's something they absolutely feel like they have to see.
Right. The worst thing is if your mom understands how to access your queue. And look at all the movies you haven't watched. Look at all these movies you haven't watched.
Literally, that's the word. Why about all these video games? You trying to go to a damn arcade? Yeah. You better get in there and play some Mario. Ma, that game is 20 years old. I don't care. I paid a good $500 for that Super Nintendo. You ain't plugged that shit in since '84.
The plastic is still on the game. You better get in there and play it. Bad Sinister McCall. Aaron Donald, who the hell called me a dork? Still going with that joke. I don't know
what happened.
I don't know what that joke is. Then someone needs to do a deep analysis of all the billion-dollar films from 2015 2019 and see what China accounted for. Studios typically only get 25% of China box office. Feels like comparing oranges to apples. Yeah, I mean, I think there is. I mean, Dan does a really good deep dive into it when he does his charts show, but there is more to explore here. I agree. And I think it is case by case. It is film by film. I don't think you can make sweeping generalizations about any of this stuff, really, because there are exceptions to every rule. And you're just looking at the patterns for certain films. Yeah,
I will give you the top 5 of 2015, and let me give you what the domestic and the foreign.
Okay.
Remember what the number 1 grossing movie in 2015 was?
Sicario. No, I don't know. What was it?
Sicario. The Force Awakens. Pulled $2 billion. It did 936 domestically. It did 1.1 internationally.
Yeah.
I don't know specifics on China, but just comparable. But like one is definitely bigger than the other. Next movie. Do you wild guess on what was the next highest rated?
I'm terrible at movie release
dates. Okay. Jurassic World, the first one. 652 domestically, 1.01 billion internationally.
Right.
Furious 7, only 353 million domestically, 1.162 billion internationally.
Right.
Avengers Age of Ultron, 459 domestically, 943 million internationally. Yeah. And then finally Minions, which did 1.15, 336 domestically, 823 internationally. So again, I stand by the fact that if you're not taking that into consideration and realizing that our relationship with the world and how things have gone have genuinely changed, the movie industry looks different. Everything else that's been going on looks different. And if we're not pulling those numbers like we were internationally, you're not going to readily see billion-dollar movies.
All right, there you go. Said by Winston A. Marshall.
Because like the closest would have been Force Awakens, and was at 936. Still didn't cross $1 billion in America.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and it's still the highest grossing domestic haul of any movie ever by miles. Matt Sister McCall, been up for 37 hours straight, so definitely mania. Yeah, I can tell by the content. C Black says next 3 MCU films will make over 1.5 billion. Deadpool just made 1.4 billion last year after the Marvels bombed with the lowest box office. Those 2 will be in the next 2 with Downey, X-Men, OG Avengers. Here's what I'll say. I don't think anything is guaranteed. And if those films are not well reviewed, if they're mixed reviews, I think the idea of 1.5 billion is not possible because people now are burnt too many times by Marvel. And if they start to see mixed reviews from these films that even are supposed to be the reliable films, I don't see them going out in the same numbers to support the films as they did in the past. And look, Spider-Man Brand New Day is a new director. Destin Daniel Cretton is not John Watts. And so we don't know what Destin's movie is going to look like and if it's going to be successful. Some people, as good as Shang-Chi was, some people did have legitimate complaints about story structure and about the direction of that movie. Then you look at Doomsday and you look at Secret Wars. They're bringing back Downey, which a lot of people have called a desperate move. What if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't fit seamlessly? What if there are holes in what they're doing? That's going to affect the box office. So I don't think 1.5 billion is guaranteed for any of these movies.
1,000%. And just to further twist the knife, Justice League in 2017 still pulled 661 million, only 229 here and 432 internationally. So like, again, we are just in a different marketplace. We can almost all universally agree that Justice League was garbage. Everybody, Snyder fans, non-Snyder fans, Marvel fans, whoever, that it was just not good. And yet somehow it still pulled 661. And yet we're not, like, I think we can all agree that Superman, Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts is all a higher quality movie than Justice League.
Oh, yeah.
But we are just in a different world.
Yeah. Reggie Brown says, new thing is to praise Weapons so you can trash Sinners. I've been reading X comments how Weapons is superior while Sinners is woke garbage racist. That is such bullshit. I mean, Sinners is as good of a movie, if not better, than Weapons, in my opinion. Haven't seen Weapons yesterday. There are holes you can poke in Weapons, which I did in a spoiler review, which I'll release, I think, tomorrow. But to me, both of those films are effective and powerful in what they're doing. To compare them against each other is utter nonsense.
Without getting into spoilers, is there any relation to what is being discussed in Sinners to Weapons? Is there anything about, liberation or connection to ancestors or anything like that?
Not really, no.
They're just both horror movies, right?
Yes, they're just both horror movies. One deals with clearly a lot of white people who were affected by what's happened. There are black children who were taken as well in the movie, but they focus on the white parents, Justin Long, Josh Brolin, and then the white teacher, and then the white cop. So I think that's what they're looking, and the white drug addict, and the white aunt who comes in. So they're all looking at that. And there's only one person of color in the main cast. That's Benedict Wong. And even he's with a white guy. So you have that element here. So I see
the other thing about it that's kind of funny to me is like Sinners hasn't been in theaters for months. Why you got my name in your mouth? Are you that sensitive that all of a sudden you feel like you got to bring me up? Like that old 50 Cent meme. What is this me for? Yeah. It's like literally I'm over here doing my thing, counting my money and just happy. Like, go get your bag. Why are you bringing me into this?
Yeah, exactly. A sinner, and it's veiled racist crap that you're just so sick of seeing. Chris Corcoran says, outside Marvel, DC, or Star Wars, what's the worst fandom? Worst? I
want to say it, but I really don't want to get attacked. I
want to say passionate, not worst necessarily. So I would say the Game of Thrones people, the Walking Dead people at one point were pretty insane. I mean, I remember Makuga stepping down from hosting the Walking Dead or Game of Thrones after show, and they asked me to do it because Makuga was getting all kinds of terrible comments and from people who are crazy about it because he was trying to bring a little levity to his hosting, and people did not want any levity when dealing with those shows. So yeah, it was an interesting experience.
You know what? I'm an equal opportunity offender. Pretty much every like army, nation, whatever for musicians. All of them. They're all horrible, genuinely. So whether it be Drake stands or the Barbs or the Beehive or the Swifties or whoever, there is an insidious nature because of the parasocial relationship with those artists that it always comes to a head. The ugliest part of the group, like behavioral wise, not physically, but behavioral wise, always comes to the forefront. The exact same way you see with Snyder Bros or MCU Bros or whatever it is. So I would genuinely say like the armies or nations, quote unquote, of musicians.
Yeah, fair. I think that's fair. Joyous Romer says, can Star Wars rebound? Oh, I'll tell you, it's Action Army. That was the worst fandom. Yeah, suck it.
Jesus Christ.
8 years later, you bastards. Joyous Romer says, can Star Wars rebound with Mando and Grogu? I think it's going to need more than just Mando and Grogu to rebound. It needs to go on a run. And so will the Rey movie be good? Will the Mangold movie be good? Will this Starfighter movie that they're lining up a lot of really good actors to be a part of be good? They need to get a run going in terms of getting people excited. Yes, go ahead.
Please tell me you see the comment that came up from Paul Hitchcock being like, nah, Winston, don't self-censor. There's some uggos in there too.
Oh, no.
I didn't say that.
Hello. All right, there we go. What do you think, Winston? Can they rebound with Mando and Grogu, or do you agree with me that they need to go on a bit of a run and have some positive?
They need to go on a run, but that's a step in the right direction.
It starts with one. Yeah, exactly. Good point. Yes.
It starts with one.
Fantastic. 314 says, I live by this. Good movies tank in the box office all the time, but no bad movie has made $1 billion. It means it wasn't meant for me. Ooh, I agree. This Jurassic World Dominion made $1 billion, and that's a horrible even
that movie real bad. I understand what you're trying to say, but nah, bro, hold on. Let me run it back. Let me pull some stuff up here. The Jungle Book wasn't good. Jungle Book is close enough. 966. I'll give it to it.
Okay.
Let's see. Original Jurassic World was fine. It was fine. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was fine. Let's see. Those are all good. That's Fallen Kingdom. Not very good. Made 1.3. Aquaman is fine. It's fine. Venom almost there at 856. Yeah. It's fine at best, but most people think it's bad, and that made money. Let's see. The Lion King remake, where all scarily you're looking at animals that can't emote. 1.6 billion, bro.
That's insane, bro.
You know what I'm saying? I personally like the first Captain Marvel. A lot of people don't. 1.128 billion.
Yeah.
Rise of Skywalker, 1.074. And pretty much every Star Wars fan says that movie is garbage.
Yes.
So like, nah, it happens. It definitely happens. But it doesn't necessarily, it's not a good thing. You don't want to start off with a bad movie. You would prefer you have a good one.
You're very kind to leave out the Transformers movie.
I just didn't even go far enough back to do
it. Kyle Wilson, which potentially buddy cop movie would you rather see? Gary Busey and Dice Clay, or Christopher Lloyd and Danny DeVito, both directed by James Gunn?
Which Gary Busey and Dice?
I'd say Christopher Lloyd, Danny DeVito. You're going to get better content.
Lloyd and DeVito, but they're both old.
Yes. Get some current references, Kyle.
No. I get it. I just the funny thing with those last two, like I hadn't seen Always Sunny in a while until the crossover, and I was like, oh my god, I love Danny DeVito, but my boy is aging.
He's old. He is old.
Yeah.
I'm Too Like Amos says reviews don't matter. Look at Fantastic Four versus Jurassic World. Hype matters. Well, I think these generalizations are really meaningless because they don't apply, because there are plenty of films that when they get reviewed well, people go see them and give them a chance. When you're talking franchise installments, yes, you could argue reviews don't matter, and it's not usually case specific. But when it comes to a lot of the other movies that populate the 12-month schedule of movies, reviews absolutely matter, because that inspires people to go see these movies. And that's why there's that kind of connection between reviewers and film still.
Well, because like the other thing about it is I had heard more people talk kind of bad about Lilo and Stitch compared to the OG because of things that they retconned and all that kind of stuff. And again, crossed $1 billion. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like it did okay on the tomato meter at 72%, which is still relatively fine, but had 92 with audiences. But I genuinely heard so many people say, you really ruined something special by taking this, that, or the other out of the movie.
Yeah.
Hold a Billy. Go for it.
I think Sinners in no way hits the box office heights that it did without so many positive.
You have to word them out. Same thing about Black Panther. Even though Black Panther was well done, it's the same thing. The hype train. So don't get me wrong. The hype train is very important. Yeah. I would agree with that. The hype train for something is incredibly important. But I think to throw out reviews and stuff like that, up to a point, it really depends on who we're talking about. If we're talking about those reviewers that like turn their nose up at everything and they think they're better than everybody and all that, sure, nobody's listening to them. But like, there's others that like come off as a little bit more, even if they're serious, they come off as not so hoity-toity, and people will listen. You know what I mean? So I think people follow you for that reason. I think people follow Dan for that reason, because like you guys have something real to say about it, but you don't pretend like you're better than everybody.
Oh yeah, no, of course not. I mean,
what was that response, bro?
I don't pretend to be better than anybody, but I will call people out if they try to fuck around. So some people,
which is fair. I thought you were saying. I thought that was sure.
No. Some people think I'm trying to be better than anybody when I call them out, and that's not what it is. But yeah, thank you for saying that. Let's hit these Streamlabs before we roll out. Fred Tastic 314 says, "Sup Tequila? We have moved away from the first priority of movie going, and that's was I entertained? All the reviews come afterwards. For example, I really enjoyed Megan 2.0 because I had a fun time at the theater, but I know it wasn't for everyone." I don't think we've moved past was I entertained. Everyone has that as an element. That's the thing. Reviews are, did you entertain me? Because you'll see a lot of reviews that you can see in coded language when they're trying to say, yes, this didn't work for me. This didn't work for me. This wasn't strong, but I still had a good time in the theater because overall it entertained me, even though I can see the flaws in the construction of the film. And so I think I don't think we have moved past that. Well, what do you think here, Winston?
Yeah, I don't think that we've fully moved past it either. I think that is certainly something to bring up. I think it's something to keep in mind, but that's because the first Megan honestly did well because people were entertained enough and it was something new.
Yes.
But if we're being honest, that first Megan was not good. It was just entertaining. Right. So they tried to double down on the nonsense and it just didn't hit. Yeah. So I think these studio heads need to not look at something the way that like they looked at, say, Morbius, and they were like, oh, it's Morbin time, bro. They love it. Go again. Like that's what it feels like sometimes when these sequels get greenlit and they're worse than they were.
Yeah, but as I said 2 weeks ago, if the audience keeps going to these fucking sequels, then the studio goes, well, we'll just keep making this stupid shit. And there's the thing. And so all I was trying to say is people got to take responsibility for their own movie-going habits, as well as calling out the executives and the creators. Quadface says, Rocha, stay with me now. Can you invite Winston onto the Cinephiles and get Steve to talk a hood classic such as Friday or Baby Boy? Winston, I see you, fam. What's up?
That was good.
Well, we've had Winston on.
I have been on the Cinephiles
with Jay. Yeah, we did Black Panther, which was over 3 parts. It was an incredible, still considered some of our greatest episodes.
That was a good time, man.
Yeah, you guys were awesome on that show. So listen, I would love to get. I think Steve would totally be down to do Friday or Baby Boy.
Are you guys back? Because I thought you guys had retired the show.
No, my God, no. We've been going strong for no. We'll take a couple. Sometimes we'll take a week or two off or a week off or whatever. But no, we've been going strong. Right now, we're doing. We're recording our Jaws. We're revisiting Jaws.
Oh wow,
50th anniversary. Yeah, we just did 1978 Superman with Vogel. So yeah,
nice, man.
Francesca 314 says on the statistical side of things, it's funny how the crime statistics in DC go up when he's in town and down when he leaves. I think there's something there.
I mean, I actually heard a pundit that said specifically him doing this yesterday, especially because everybody can point to it and go, the numbers have actually been down. What the hell are we talking about?
Yeah.
You can turn around after a week or two of it, be like, look at the numbers. They're so low. It's because we sent them in, and the numbers went down. Nobody's ready for it because the problem is he's continuing to test the waters, because the other thing that got announced today was it's not just that going on in DC, but putting a mandate in to be able to mobilize the National Guard at any moment's notice and have a response within an hour for any sort of protest.
Oh yeah, this is what he wants. He's so sensitive. He's such a little crybaby that he needs to have a guards on hand to go and counter any protest, because he knows he's getting smoked. He is getting smoked, and that's why he's doing all of this authoritarian shit, and also to distract from the
Release them files.
Yeah, release them damn files.
I know Cuomo's on there too. Release him.
I know
my Clinton on there too. Burn him too. I don't give a fuck.
Oh, yes, I agree with you. My favorite comment I think I saw this week was, oh, and by the way, release the Epstein files. It's to everything. Oh, and by the way, release the Epstein files. It's so frustrating.
Hey, man, do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Jim says, Johnny Boy and Winston, rank these sports commentators from best to worst. Mike Breen, Jim Nantz, Ian Eagle, Kevin Harlan, and Gus Johnson. And if you all know him, Eric Collins. I'm not familiar with Eric, but the other ones I am.
Damn, I kind of need to see all that in a row.
Yeah,
I can't off the top of my head. Can you read them one more time and I'll just pick my favorite, I guess?
Mike Breen, Jim Nantz, Ian Eagle, Kevin Harlan, and Gus Johnson.
I guess Jim Nantz.
Yeah, Nantz would be
number one.
Yeah. Even though he's like Holmes. Yeah, I think Nantz is number one as well. Mike Breen is probably 2. Gus 3, Ian Eagle, and then Kevin Harlan for me. I love Gus, and too many people criticize Gus. Gus is amazing. Samo says, with the UFC signing a deal with Paramount, thoughts on the UFC starting to become a Trump rally, with Trump appearing in a lot of the events and Dana White floating the idea of a UFC event in front of the White House, signed a former UFC fan. Well, remember, Paramount paid that, or CBS paid that essential bribe alleged bribe to make the merger go through. So the guy who owns Paramount, Ellison, he is a Trump supporter himself. So it makes sense that they would sign a deal with UFC and all of this. They want to be in business with that dude. So yeah, I'm not surprised by it. Anything was
no, I'm not surprised either. It is what it is, man. I mean, look, you got that. I think I'm more disappointed in the fact that it sounds like NFL Network is getting absorbed by ESPN or something like that. And the only thing worse is because ESPN just put out their betting platform. So like it makes things look worse and worse. I don't love it.
Oh man, the more they go into betting, the more these look at how many athletes have been caught in the last few weeks.
Michael Porter Jr. was on a damn podcast talking about how he was like, if my cousin got, like 1,000 on me doing this and somebody got that, then all of a sudden I got a stomachache, man. Like, did everybody get a little bag?
It's so stupid to me that these people who make money off these bets, like these rich billionaires who are part of the NFL, the owners, are sitting there chastising the players who don't make anywhere near what these owners make for doing these things or being tempted to do these things. It's ridiculous, man. Anyway, Doug Developer says, hey guys, Richard Jefferson said on Gary Owens' podcast that he would never play for the Jazz because Utah is the most boring state. If you were an NBA player, which 3 cities would you never want to live in and play for? Are you crazy? I'm not answering that. What's wrong with that? That essentially asks us to have fans in those cities hate us for saying we would never want to be in those cities.
You didn't know the blood feud that was going on with me in Oklahoma City? Do you not remember that from game time, bro? Did you forget so quickly?
No, but I mean, people came after Sophie Cunningham for saying shit about Detroit, and she was like, "I wasn't trying to say it." So I'm no way.
Because what she said, and it doesn't help that she is known as MAGA Barbie, bro. Like because people like had kind of called her out on some stuff. Yeah, it sounds like she should have said, "Anybody trying to play that black ass city?" Like that's, bro, that's kind of crazy. Like I don't know. I think it's also different because we're not actually on sports teams. Yeah. So like I'll answer it enough in that I don't have an issue with Sacramento as a city, but I would not want to live and play there just because I have been to Sacramento a couple of times. It reminds me a lot of Fort Worth. It's just farm town. There's not much to do.
Oh, fair point.
So it's not because I'm like, man, Sacramento. I'm like, if I'm going to be in a city and especially as a celebrity, there's a certain level of like, yo, let me be like the celeb of like even Cleveland a little bit better than like I'm not trying to play for no Browns, but I'll play for the Cavaliers. Like that's kind of fire. You know what I'm saying? Like that it is what it is. Like I'm not trying to play in Jacksonville. Jacksonville, there's too many hurricanes, and I've seen way too much just kind of nonsense down there. Sure. But I'd have for the Florida. You know what I mean? Miami. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it just depends. It's again for me. What can I do in said city?
I can tell you this. I'll just go on my sports teams, right? I would never want to live or play in Dallas because I don't like the Cowboys. I'm a Commanders fan. That's ingrained in me, although I love that. Never mind. I'm not going to.
I mean, I wouldn't want to play in Philly either for that same reason, bro. I get it. New York is fine. Like the DC is fine. I really wouldn't want to play in Philly. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't vibe with them burning cities down when they win. Like
right. Eating horse crap when you win. It makes no sense. And listen, I went to Florida State, so I wouldn't want to represent Gainesville as a Seminole. I wouldn't want to represent Gatortown. So that's as far as I'll answer that question because I think if you've got a city that's got a Target and a Best Buy and an Olive Garden, I'm set. I'm good. I don't need anything else. That's my city.
I got to run here in a minute, but I'm dying at some of these comments. Someone goes, Sacramento Mills love the brothers. I'm just saying. Somebody else said, my friend who lives in Sacramento making sad Sacramento noises.
Bring them cowbells. Joyce Romer says, may the force be with you guys. Have either of you played Star Wars of the Old Republic? Is that what it is?
I've played Knights of the Old Republic, but I never played the MMO, the Old Republic. I heard it was good, but I didn't have a PC at the time.
Yeah, I think that missed me at the time. I did not play it myself, but thank you very much for the comment, Joyous. And last one here, Chris Corcoran. Did you see Cuomo had a secret call with Trump? Yes. Also, I heard he might be in the Epstein files. Winston reference. How long before the Dem establishment endorses Cuomo? Man, I hope they don't.
They better not.
I hope
if they do. Don't. They're gonna permanently lose like a whole generation of voters.
We got the wrong people in charge of that fucking party, man. Like the wrong fucking people.
I told you, I'm ageist. I'm ageist. I'm tired of these old dudes that are not gonna and gals that are not gonna be around making decisions for the people that will be. Like just taking back cuts and making us look terrible worldwide for a world they will in a country they will not inherit. We have to inherit their BS.
We need to be MAGA on the other side. So we need to have AOC, Jasmine Crockett, Moskowitz. That's what I mean, like the other side. Like what I mean by that is that MAGA found these young people to roll through and get into positions.
Trump ain't young. What you talking about?
No, well, Trump is that's the anomaly. But everyone else, right? Stephen Miller, Hegseth, these are younger people. And they rolled into these positions, MTG, they all rolled into these positions and have gotten some words done. We need to get the young blood back involved in the Democratic Party and in charge of it. And maybe we'll lose an election, but we've lost an election many times before as they age into their roles, but then they'll be in power. So.
I understand what you're saying, but I caution about saying we need to have an inverse MAGA just for this reason and this reason alone. One, how many times have we seen the movie, whether it be like Dune or stuff in real life, that you were attacked by the monster, but then you become it. That's the last thing that needs to happen.
Well, I didn't.
I know what you're saying. I think the young blood thing is spot on, but I'm not trying to find the inverse Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's actually not something that I think is like a good thing.
Right.
I think that
younger energy.
I think that people in general need to look at every politician individually and see what they actually stand for and what they actually do, and hold them accountable, and nothing otherwise. So.
Yeah, that's the way it should go. I agree with you. Cauliflower is the guy in Texas, the young kid in Texas. I like that kid. Bring him into the forefront as well. We need youthful energy in the Dem Party, and we need to be in motion on that. The old bones need to roll on out of here, for God's sake. Jurassic World is over. Get out of here. All right, let's move on from there. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us today. We appreciate it, man. Thanks for the Streamlabs and Superchats. Thanks for the lively chat. Winston A, always fun to see you, man. Please let people know where they can find you in case they haven't heard that earlier today.
Absolutely. See up top at the Swaggy Blur. That's all platforms here on YouTube, on Twitch, on social media. I'll go ahead and post stuff that I've got going on social media so you can check it out. Again, my relay out of the theater reaction should be out momentarily, probably first thing in the morning, because I got to head out to the Sparks game.
Right on.
But yeah, just hit me up, come follow, and I'll see you guys on the flip.
Right there. JMB said it perfectly. Well, I think Rocha means someone aggressive and doesn't give a fuck energy instead of these current spineless jellyfish.
Which is fair, but the only thing is that they're so I don't give a that they do really dumb things. That's the only reason I'm always very careful. I think we need to have people be passionate, but I need people to use the proper judgment assessing these politicians instead of just automatically giving them thumbs up.
That's a fair point. Totally fair. As for me, you can follow me at The Rocha Says, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky Threads, and subscribe down below. Hit that bell button. Leave your comments on everything. And don't forget, all the shows, are except for Geek Buddies and Hot Mic, are on the Outlaw Nation Podcast Network, soon to be the John Rocha Podcast Network. Make sure you subscribe there as well in case you miss anything and you just want to take us along with you to work out or hike or whatever. So we appreciate it. All right, we'll talk to you next time. Have a great week, and we'll see you soon again on Spill the Tequila. Peace.